Well, Tales of Arise is the latest in the series of the Tales franchise, and it's a great place to jump in if you've never played a Tales game before. So if you like anime, then you're going to love this, and even if you don't, there's enough great combat and interesting characters in here, plus a huge story in this action RPG from Bandai Namco. Tales of Arise may be one of the best looking games out there, it's bright, it's colourful, and has some neat storytelling mechanics when it comes to the narrative. I'm not a huge fan of anime, I must admit, but I was drawn in by the story. It's a serious one too, given it's a look at slavery in their society. So you've got the Danans, which have been ruled by the Renans for hundreds of years, and this is the story of the slaves rising up against their masters, seeking vengeance for the years of oppression. Well, the action takes place on the Danans planet, and that is very near to the technologically advanced Renan homeworld. So the Renans, they're obsessed with draining all the resources from the Danans planet, enslaving the Danan people as they go. And Tales of Arise does a pretty good job of analysing this relationship in the game, so it may sound like it's not for the faint of heart, but it is a decent story with plenty of twists and turns, and it all keeps you engaged. Well, the Tales series is very large, so Tales of Arise is the 17th entry in the series. That makes it one of the longest running franchises in all of gaming. I was never really compelled to get into the Tales games until now, so the thing that really caught my attention with Tales of Arise was the combat system, and this is a JRPG through and through, but the action, the combos and the set pieces, they're all set against a grand scale, and it is a sight to behold, plus it is great fun to play. So even though Tales of Arise is the 17th entry as mentioned before, this is seen by many as a kind of reboot for the series. So the game wears its anime roots proudly on its sleeve, and if you like this kind of thing from other media like comics and movies, then you're instantly gonna love this one. So for me, it took a little bit of getting into, but the story is well presented, and at the centre of the story we've got our two main characters. So we've got Iron Mask and Shion. Well, the premise is fun. Iron Mask doesn't remember who he is, and doesn't feel pain, whereas Shion on the other hand can't be touched due to her thorns, which causes anyone immense pain who touches her. Also, she's Renan, meaning inside her she has a core, which Iron Mask can extract and turn into a flaming sword for attacks. So they bicker like an old married couple, but I did really enjoy this relationship. So the game is absolutely huge, with well over 40 hours in the main story, or maybe closer to 60 or 70 hours if you want to do all these side quests and extra content. So in this package you've essentially got two halves to the game. The first part is all about overthrowing your slave masters, and then setting up a society, and the second part is going off on an adventure in space with your party. Well, the first part of the story has a good pace to it. You go from region to region, taking care of bosses and slowly claiming back the realms. Unfortunately, the second part of the game is a little bit slower, and it kind of loses its way. Well, the character development in Tales of Arise is one of its best assets. So in the first part of the game, you're gathering a party in classic JRPG fashion, where you meet characters from different backgrounds and bring together a ragtag crew that can seemingly take on the world. Characters are given time to develop, we get to know them really well, and that does make the second part of the game a little bit more disappointing, given it turns more to the action part of the action RPG label. Personally, I would have liked more of the character development in the back half of the game. So one of the main features in Tales of Arise is the combat system, and this is fantastic all throughout the game, making battles a delight to take part in. So when you first start out, you're Iron Mask, you've got a series of swords, include starting out with a rusty one, and eventually you'll have a flaming sword. So when you fight, you've got your companion with you, so you've got various attacks like light attacks, heavy attacks and combos. And you can also roll out the way, and the manoeuvrability of your character is really good fun and really easy to get to grips with. So you've got special attacks that are linked to the D-pad, and they are on a cooldown, and you and your party members can inflict major damage. So you've also got combo attacks where at a certain time during the battle, you can team up and unleash a powerful attack using all party members. So combat is big, it's brash, and it's also challenging. So enemies do have set movement patterns, and much of the challenge in Tales of Arise is learning these patterns and predicting what enemies are going to do so you can attack at the right time. So if you dodge out of the way at the last minute, you'll have the opportunity to rush in and get in a swift attack, dealing a little more damage. So all this plus huge combos make the combat system feel really dynamic, and it's one of the best action I've seen in a video game for years. So some great examples over the last few years including God of War and Jedi Fallen Order, and this one definitely lives up there with both of those. So the main drawback I find, and it's common across most RPGs, is the leveling system. So I didn't really feel very directed when it came to leveling up in Tales of Arise, and when I reached a certain boss I got instantly killed. I had to go back and level up for a few more hours before I could go back to the boss and meaningfully take them on. So as a gamer, I'd like to be leveling up on my journey to the boss, not get there and hit a brick wall and then get frustrated by my lack of DPS. It's a minor gripe, but it was noticeable. So Tales of Arise is a great package. It's easy to see why this was in the conversation for Game of the Year 2021. The storytelling is good, the characters have time to grow and breathe, and the combat is exciting, plus it's pretty tough at times. It is very accessible too, being released on pretty much all the major platforms, so I would check out some of the footage in the game, and if you like action RPGs, I would recommend giving Tales of Arise a go. So the game was developed and published by Bandai Namco, is available for the PS5, PS4, PC, Xbox Series S and X, Xbox One, and I reviewed this one on the PS5. It was originally released on the 10th of September 2021. Well, that is it for my review of Tales of Arise. Fantastic JRPG and a really nice way to kick off the year playing one of my backlog games. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. Or you can follow me on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you soon.